Tell us about yourself.
So I'm in a second semester placement student at Sheridan College. I'm in the CYC program. I'm a very dedicated, passionate individual. I'm very hardworking. I'm in my first placement in the program at the YMCA. As of April, I would have completed the placement. I'm at the St. Benedict location, in which I'm a school-age play partner. So that's when I observe children. I engage children in therapeutic activities. I play games with them. So since being there, I've grown as a learning professional. I've learned a lot there. I've been able to implement theory to practice since I started placement. So I've worked alongside some incredible staff members in which they've shown me the ropes. So I would say that I've grown as a learning professional since I've entered placement.
What do you know about your agency or program?
So I'm applying to the Halton's Women's Place in your north location in Milton. So the Halton's Women's Place is a shelter in which women and children take refuge when they're trying to escape a toxic environment. The services you guys offer are shelter, clothing, food. You do also offer financial services, dental, health services, and if the women are planning to leave their abusive significant other, they have, I know that you guys offer housing services and legal services as well. In addition, you guys offer counseling for residential and non-residential programming, as well as telephone counseling. And in regards to children and youth, you have creative therapeutic activities that you guys conduct, in which a CYC is there. So that is something I'm specifically applying for. Yeah.
What interests you in a field practicum at our agency?
Well, I'm interested in your residential program, in which I've seen on your website that there is, in the morning you have counseling sessions or programming for the children and youth, and then later on in the day, in the afternoon, you have structured therapeutic activities and recreational activities in which you integrate. You first start off with the children, do an activity with them, and then you would integrate the families, so the mothers and the rest of the siblings, to do something therapeutic together and collaborate. So that's what I'm interested in.
What are the requirements for your practicum placement?
The requirements for the practicum placement is one-on-one contact with the children, but it needs to be supervised. 30 minutes of supervision weekly. In addition, there's creative therapeutic activities that I need to conduct, as well as counseling and documentation.
What strengths do you have that would be relevant to work we do in this setting?
What are my strengths?
That would be relevant in this practicum.
I think since I've entered a placement, I've noticed that I've been able to develop positive, genuine relationships with the staff, the children, the youth, and the parents as well. So I feel that's one of my strengths, as well as I'm a very dedicated and passionate individual. When it comes to my work, I always try to do it to the best of my ability. You never see me standing around doing nothing, either engaged with the children, the youth, or either talking to a staff member, or either planning an activity. So I'm always engaged in doing something. So I would say that's one of my strengths.
Can you give me an example of when you use one of these strengths?
Example would be when I'm able to build positive relationships with the children, especially when it comes to, so we have like a specific child that I'm very close to, that is very attached to me as well. When it comes to situations when they would get upset and they wouldn't listen to any other staff member in the classroom at the YMCA, I feel that the fact that I established a positive relationship with them, I'm able to step in and try to diffuse the situation of what's happening. So I feel like that's a strength.
Good. Tell me about your general arts and science certificate.
Oh, so my general arts and science certificate was just a stepping stone for me to get a foundation of the social sciences. So which I've used that. I plan to go into university as soon as I'm done with this program. So that was just for the basics of me to get a base on psychology, the social sciences, and a little bit of English. So I just used that just to refine my skills and just to figure out what I wanted to do instead of taking a year off from high school just to work. I wanted to do something just to further my knowledge. So I believe after completing that, it built confidence in my knowledge and in myself to pursue a more intensive program like this.
So in our residential setting, what would you do if a client became dysregulated and became physically aggressive?
If they became physically aggressive, I would definitely, well, hopefully I wouldn't be alone because I know I can never be alone with a child, so hopefully a supervisor or another staff member would be around. From situations like that, I would definitely try to do the best that I can to diffuse the situation, but I would also try to seek guidance from whoever is around me at the time.
Under the Child and Family Services Act, there is a duty to report. Can you tell me what this means and how you would apply it to the student in practicum?
So, duty to report, as an aspiring CYC, it is my obligation to, if I believe that a child or youth is in need of protection or is going to be in harm's way, I need to make sure that I contact CAS immediately. So if I was in placement and a child confided in me about a situation at home where they're being harmed, or if I feel like they need protection, that's when I'll have to contact CAS immediately.
We would like to know how you would manage a conflict or differences of opinion with others. Tell us about a time you had a conflict with someone at work, school, etc., and how you dealt with it.
So when dealing with conflict, I would always try to listen to the other person, try to get an idea of what they're going through, try to empathize with them. When I'm dealing with conflict, when they're describing to me the situation, I'll make sure to ask questions so that I gain a better understanding of what the situation is. A specific situation that has happened was probably at work where we had a little conflict about our scheduling. My coworker did not inform me that the schedule was changed, so that was a conflict that we experienced. So what I did was that at an appropriate time I did confront her about the situation. I did it in a calm manner and respectful manner. And I just expressed to her my feelings about the whole situation, and I asked her about her feelings, and I reiterated back her feelings and what she was telling me, and from there we were able to come to a common ground, and that's how to deal with the conflict.
Tell us about your approach to teamwork and provide a specific example of how you function in a group.
For teamwork, well, I find myself, my position in regards to like group work or anything with group dynamics, I would find myself as the organizer, the one that likes to plan specific times of when to meet and stuff like that. But definitely for teamwork, I always try to contribute as much as possible. Always, if I make a promise, I always try to keep it, try to fulfill that promise and not make promises that I can't keep.
Good.
Yeah.
How would a Sheridan faculty member describe you as a student?
A Sheridan faculty member? I feel that they would describe me as a very hardworking individual. The work that I produce, I feel that they would be able to tell that I do try to produce the best work as possible to the best of my ability. I would say that I would hope they would describe me as like a very punctual, respectful student within their class.
Why do you think we should choose you as a field practicum student?
Well, I believe I'm a good candidate for your agency because Like I said, I'm a very passionate individual. In the future, I want to work with women and children who have been through the human trafficking, and so I understand that the way that that a person can have control over someone and how it impacts them. So I feel like if I were to given the opportunity to work at your agency, I'd be able to further my knowledge in regards to that, and everything that your agency, the values and the representation that you guys have, I feel aligns with my own values and beliefs. So that's what I'd be, if given the opportunity, I would love to work with your agency.
Do you have any questions for us?
I wanted to inquire more about your programs in regards to children and youth. I know you guys have therapeutic activities, but I was wondering what's the typical age group that you guys have?
Typically age range around 10 to 15.
10, 15? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Because ideally I wanted to work between 13 to 15, so
good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any other questions?
No.
Do you have a list of references?
Yeah, I could get you a list of references.
What are the defining characteristics of a Crown Ward?
A Crown Ward, I think it's a child that's placed under the protection of a guardian. I feel that's a characteristics, as well as it deals with a child who is in foster care.
What is the difference between punishment and consequence?
Punishment, I believe punishment is a negative term in which consequence is like, so consequence I feel like is a more, how to explain? So if a child does something like, there's a, if a child were to like act out in a way that, like for example, if they were to hit a child or hit a staff member, there would have to be a consequence in order for them to learn that the behavior is not acceptable. And I feel like punishment is a negative term. I feel like it shouldn't be used because punishment is like something like that they would associate negatively. So yeah.
When can a resident not call the Provincial Advocate's Office?
I feel it's better to be safe than sorry, so I wouldn't see that any issue that I have about a child is small. I feel like I'd rather call and the office to deny me about if I'm raising an issue about a child, I'd rather have them deny me that it's that they can't deal, that it's not as a serious issue, versus me not calling and then later on something big were to happen to the child. So I'd rather just be safe than sorry and just go to them when I need to be.
Let me ask you a scenario question. You are the first staff to enter the living room and observe one 17-year-old resident hand something to a 15-year-old resident who quickly puts it in their pocket. What would you do?
I feel like I would definitely go to my supervisor. That would be the first thing that I would do. I feel like if I were to confront the children at the moment, in a way, especially that I'm a student, I'm still learning, I don't want the situation to escalate, especially if it was like a sharp object. So I would go to someone, a supervisor or anyone that's around me that's of authority to help me deal with the situation.
What is the difference between open custody and detention? Oh, never mind.
Well, it was good to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's nice meeting you too. Thank you.